I had something I wanted to start with, and now I can't remember. Oh, I was going to say we both just start screaming like at the end of the episode. So just open the episode. We're both screaming. They go, we're talking about Moon Knight. Ready, go. Because they bust in on the hippo thing.
The hippo.
Yeah. So I was figuring we'd both just look at the camera and... unless there's something else.
I don't like screaming at people right off.
Okay. All right, here we go.
Oh, how about? Are you recording?
Yeah.
You're already recording.
I'm already.
Sure?
Yeah, I'm recording. I'm recording all of this.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Great. Well, then you could really start any time.
So I could start any time. This could be all of it. We could just start talking about Moon Knight episode.
Steven, Mark, Steven.
Yeah, Moon Knight episode 4. We're just gonna get right into it.
We're so excited. Yeah, you caught us with our pants down.
Yeah. Here we are in the land of the dead.
Yeah, I mean, or this whole thing is just a really avant-garde Marvel show, and it's all been inside his head in a mental institution the whole time, and we're going full "I am the cheese" if you want to, if you want to refer, a deep cut to the old Robert Cormier young novel.
I don't think we're going there. I know people were speculating.
Cormier,
I know people were speculating that there could have been an inside his head situation, since we are dealing with the DID, the dissociative identity disorder. But I really feel like this is actually Marc and Steven in some sort of land of the dead, where they're showing that they're actually two completely separate people.
Yes.
That both died.
Again, just expanding Oscar Isaac's incredible performance, and
to
now
play against himself.
Now we're really
brilliant.
seeing. And just the way he holds himself physically, you can see the other two. And then the mystery box.
Yeah, who we still haven't seen yet.
The third personality and that third sarcophagus. Again, we're talking episode 4, Moon Knight, 2 left, right?
2 left.
So we're assuming you've seen it, but it ends up where I can't help anybody that won't help themselves. Ethan Hawke, kapow. Kills. So I assume it's a little bit of both. We're a little bit in his head. But yes, this is also the land of the dead, as referenced by. I loved the aesthetic of the psych ward, the psych ward. Psych ward really starts looking like an Egyptian tomb as he's going into it.
So I want to talk about that area, and we're going to kind of go backwards since we started talking about the end of the episode. So just go on the ride with us.
Yeah, we'll get to the hippopotamus.
Talking about the hippopotamus in the room. So we talked about Tawert. He just mentioned the hippopotamus. We get a fun Egyptian god reveal at the end. Is that one of the statues that's in the statue room from all the captured gods? So is she now is possibly Khonshu in this afterworld where they're going to have to free Khonshu from the afterworld?
I think so. I think
and or the other people that are there, because there's obviously other people.
Well, I love that too.
Are they other avatars of other?
No, everyone else in the psych ward are minor characters we've seen in the show. Like the bearded guy was the cop, and the one lady, they were the two cops, and also some of the soldiers that we saw. He was the guy getting disemboweled by and having his guts put in the canopic jar that we saw.
But they're dead.
But we're in the land of the dead, and they're all sort of trapped in the. But every single character, every single minor person in this psych ward is someone we've seen. The statue man was there.
Right.
He was the one calling out the bingo numbers.
Oh.
Who was the golden statue man?
I didn't catch that. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. He was in there. I mean, if you look, go back.
There's some
and watch
implications.
It. Yeah. Go back and watch it again. Like which leads us to believe either Marc, Steven, Moon Knight is dead, or crazy, or both. Because
I'm good with both.
But see, I always sort of thought, and I don't know if we said it on the show, but Statue Man, to me, I always wondered if he was ever really there. The only time we see interaction with him and anybody else is like when Steven tells the people that they have to pay to take the picture with him.
If he's another altar.
Or if he's just somewhere, or if he is an avatar like Khonshu, who's been trapped in these stone statues that we see at the very beginning of the episode.
Right.
If he's yet another Egyptian god avatar that's somehow trapped. And I mean, obviously, when Khonshu does the sky thing in episode 3,
so cool.
and he tells Steven to tell Marc
Right.
that he needs to free him, obviously there's a path to do that.
Right. Okay, so I'm going to lean heavily. I liked what you just said. I'm going to lean really heavy on the fact that the statue guy is actually just another of Marc Stevens' altars,
Or an avatar.
Well,
for another god.
I'm gonna lean real heavy
Okay.
on that he's another altar, because that's fun to me.
Yeah.
That he's not another person. That Marc or Steven was actually sitting on the fountain just yelling at himself. And there were people that came up, and he's like, "Give me money to take a picture of this guy," and there was
Right.
no one.
There's
That's fun to me. I hope they go that way. They probably won't, but that's
who knows?
fun. Yeah. So okay, we're just gonna stick here. So
I mean, yeah, it's so funny. Last episode we talked about how that we felt like this could all get wrapped up by episode 6, and now I'm worried again. They flipped us.
Well,
on
no,
episode
because
4.
we're gonna get an episode 5
Well,
where they free
we're-
Khonshu. Then we're gonna get into episode 6 where Khonshu does his thing.
Right. Well, worried in a good way.
Yeah.
There's just like I'm really excited about this. It seems like these properties that start straying more and more from the standard like legacy Marvel characters into
Yeah.
these more peripheral ones like Moon Knight,
Yeah.
like the Eternals, like the Black Knight. It really interesting and opening up a lot of possibilities for where the universe can go.
Yeah. So since we're in this Afterworld area, we talked about Tawert, the hippopotamus god that apparently does not show up in any Marvel comics. So they're free to do whatever they want to with this character. New actress, ethnic actress. She hasn't done anything else. I'm really digging that this show. I mean, I'm sure the director has a hand in it because he's Egyptian. I'm really, really digging that they're just leaning really heavy on the fact that they're using Egyptian people and they're using ethnic music in the soundtracks, and it's so cool to see them branch into that and lean on it, because it's a show about Egypt. So that's just one of the things that I wanted to say I thought was really cool.
Yeah, well, and I think like a lot of Marvel properties, a lot of Marvel characters, especially some of the peripheral ones, are, as the kids would say, problematic in the way that they handle certain cultural, things that they borrow from, into Western culture. And so, if we're now in 2010, that's okay back in the 60s and 70s when some of these, characters were created.
Yeah.
But now that we're in 2022, it's interesting to see them take some of this creative license. And that's, again, why I sort of poo-poo on the people that are like, oh, well, that's not exactly Moon Knight. Well, this is better.
Yeah.
I haven't read a lot of old Moon Knight, and there's probably a reason for that. He's a little more of a niche character. Nothing against any of the the creation stories or stuff that they've done, but I can tell you right now, this version is, I'm loving this Tomb Raider, Batman, confused. I mean, he is his own. However Moon Knight started, he's now his own superhero, and he is indelibly Marc Steven. Oscar Isaac is killing it. Like he's my new favorite. He's my new favorite Marvel hero.
Yeah, he's awesome. Like I said before, I've read a couple things of Moon Knight. Never any Moon Knight proper titles. I was a real big Punisher fan, real big Spider-Man fan, real big Wolverine fan. So any episodes or I guess issues, because since we're talking about comic books, where Moon Knight showed up in those runs, I read, and so he was a peripheral character for me, but really cool because he does blend really well with the Punisher and with Wolverine, because he is this mercenary blood sport type character. He's kind of a Deadpool-y type character because he kind of leans a little bit more out of the box. So it's his fun interactions with Spider-Man. I'm really digging this. I'm like you said, Oscar Isaac is just absolutely killing this role. You mentioned Tomb Raider. You mentioned Indiana Jones. I think we've talked about The Mummy before. Very much Mummy vibes. I actually, so my wife and I watched a lot of The Librarians. I don't know,
yes.
With Noah Wiley and Rebecca Romaine. This feels a lot, at least this episode felt a lot like those, because you have Layla, who is the Rebecca Romaine character, who is really skilled with combat and has the background, and then you have Steven, who's just kind of the really smart guy bumbling through and around, and she has to protect him.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's all pulp, and
Yeah.
and you and I are big fans of
Oh my God.
1920s, 30s
Oh my
pulp
God.
serials, like, and that's for sure. Moon Knight is the Shadow. He's
He's apparently Stephen Grant from a fictional pulp.
I know
Indiana Jones.
and it's leaning into it, and it's winking at us, and it's telling us this is it. This is pulpy, but then they're enriching it with so much more, like an honest, from their perspective, from an Egyptian, from a non-Western perspective, really getting that Egyptian culture, not like like the Western version of it. Well, it's all exotic and everything. I mean, this is really bringing it home and making these characters more than just one-dimensional, spices.
Yeah.
We're visiting their world instead of us looking through our lens at that world.
And to that point, one of the things I read early on is people were talking about how great it is that we're seeing a Hollywood representation of Egypt that's not seen through a sepia lens or a brown lens, because Hollywood has a tendency, when we see things outside of America, to color tint them so Americans, because we're stupid, understand that we're somewhere else.
That we're somewhere else.
So I've seen a lot of people, mostly probably native Egyptian people, saying how much they love that they're seeing their country represented in an actual light. We're seeing the thriving, actual community of Cairo that's not just the back roads, mud huts that we see in like Indiana Jones and stuff.
Well, and again, I love watching stuff that I know a lot about, like Spider-Man, and I love all the Easter eggs that I catch, and I'm like, oh, that's from this run, and that's from this writer, and this spin-off. But I really also I enjoy even more the not knowing anything about it, and so that I can be an open book and not be, as you say, sepia tint colored in my my enjoyment of it. I can just sit back and I can go, I have no idea what's going to happen next, and that's the most fun thing about Moon Knight.
Yeah, and for those people that are big Moon Knight fans and have read his comics from day one,
tell us everything we're getting wrong. Comment.
I mean, the fact of the matter is there are going to be plenty of things wrong. I hope you're enjoying this as much as we are, people that don't have the same scope of knowledge of Moon Knight, because I am thoroughly
give yourself
this.
permission to go on the ride, be lost, and not go, well, that's not exactly like that, I mean, and Marvel has let us know, we're over a decade into these Marvel movies. We should know that everybody has gotten a different origin than the standard one. I mean, most notably them just skipping over Peter Parker's origin and sort of doing it, back to front. They did with, ending up with No Way Home, where we almost like reboot his origin.
Yeah. All right. So I'm going to roll us back a little bit more.
Okay.
I want to go back to the beginning of the episode where we see the fun combat with Layla, and she, very Jurassic Park moment where like the truck,
flares.
the truck's
I'm
coming
like,
down
what
the
is she
hill,
doing
and
with
she
the
grabs
flares?
the flare
Very smart.
and draws the car away. So Jurassic Park. So she's obviously seen Jurassic Park.
You're saying Jurassic Park exists in the MCU.
In the Moon Knight universe, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So that, I mean, that whole opening scene was fun. The end of the last episode kind of freaked me out a little bit, because what I do know of Moon Knight is that Marc Spector died when he was with Layla's father and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
He was shot and he died, and Khonshu resurrected him to be his avatar. So at the end,
I think that's what they're telling us. I think that's what Mark is trying to tell Layla when she confronts him about him possibly being involved in her father's death.
So to that point, at the end of the last episode, where Khonshu's like, tell Mark he needs to save me, and then he disappears and Steven crumples over, I'm like, oh crap, how can he tell Mark to come save him? They're both dead now. Which luckily in the show didn't happen, and Steven was just passed out in the sand.
Mm-hmm.
I was really worried for a minute that Layla was going to have to carry us through and rescue Mark and Khonshu, which I guess could have happened, because she's badass.
They've been setting up that Khonshu wants her as the avatar. Yeah. How crazy would it be if that's the handoff at the end of this series? What if going forward Moon Knight isn't Oscar Isaac?
Well, I mean,
who I love, but what if it is Layla ends up becoming the new...
He has stated multiple times that he doesn't have a contract that extends past this limited series run, which unfortunately, Marvel is leaning really heavy into the limited series. They've now said that Scarlet Witch isn't getting a second season. They've now said that
it's done its job.
yeah,
I kind of really didn't think Wanda was going to get a second.
It had such a great reception that like they came out I think the week afterwards and they're like, cool, we might do another one.
Right.
But I don't know if they really can.
So
after
Falcon Winter Soldier is a one-off.
Falcon.
So,
well,
so far the only one we know for sure is getting a second season is Loki.
Right, and they can always change that at a moment's notice because they're.
Well, they better. I mean, seriously, Kevin.
Yeah.
Feige, Feige, whatever your name is.
Feige.
Like seriously, yeah, Feige. You can't end Loki season 1 like you did without a season 2.
Yeah. So before we go and we're going to get off track because we want to get to the other elephant in the room.
Yes.
I just wanted to talk about the music really briefly.
Yeah.
I talked about it a little bit before with all the ethnic songs coming in the trailers. I just want to point out, and I don't know if this is a how dare you moment or if it's a thank you moment. I can't get The Man Without Love by Engelbert Humperdinck out of my head. I don't know what Marvel or Disney is doing to my brain because every song that they put in these stupid shows gets stuck. All the Guardians of the Galaxy songs get stuck in my head. We
it is excellent.
We had the Immigrant song from Thor. We have now Sweet Child of Mine in the next Thor trailer that we're going to get to. The song, it's been a long, long time, that Captain America dances to. I don't know what secret spice you guys are putting in these songs, but I can't get them out of my head.
No, they're firing on all cylinders as far as like just the way they're constructing these. They do feel, especially these limited series, do feel like long movies. Yeah. They get better and better at it. You know, Wanda definitely was supposed to feel like a television show. Yeah. But I mean, Falcon Winter Soldier is basically a broken up feature. Loki is like a broken up feature. And this one, they just keep getting better and better. So I'm excited for Miss Marvel. Yeah. I'm excited for Secret Invasion. I'm excited for everything that they're bringing us. But mostly, I'm excited to talk about, since you brought it up, Thor Love and Thunder trailer just dropped a couple days ago. Yeah. So we're going to get this out hopefully before episode 5. So everybody's going to be talking about it, I'm sure. But we're going to see the Asgardians of the Galaxy, right. Transitioning from fat Thor to skinny Thor. Yeah. It looks like a perfect end to Thor's journey. And Thor, especially after Thor 2 Dark World, I think we can all agree Thor deserves a second, third movie that's good. Because I love the first Thor, is great. Thor Dark World,
yeah. Kind of. I like watching it, but it's a missed
opportunity. I mean, you know, Marvel didn't always, nail it when they were trying to open up these worlds and stuff. Right. But now that you go back and watch Thor Dark World, you could see even then they're trying to showing us multiple worlds and
it did its job. It just didn't do a good job. I mean,
well, and Loki fixed a lot of part of that, but I'm very excited for Taika Waititi, Chris Hemsworth to team back up.
Tessa Thompson.
I mean, Natalie Portman looks jacked.
Oh goodness!
In this, I mean, the final scene. This is the one that's setting the internet.
The
on
hammer's
fire.
back, baby,
and it's all crumbled.
Yeah.
So this has to be a reformed hammer, not the hammer that he steals.
So this is not a alternate. Jane Foster. This is Jane Foster from the main timeline.
One would assume
where the hammer is broken
somehow
by Hela.
Broken by Hela, reforged somehow by her.
Yeah.
And again, kind of why I think maybe kind of going back to Moon Knight for a second, that Layla may be the new Moon Knight because they are going female heavy.
Oh yeah, they are
in this next phase.
Yeah, they are.
I think we're lining up for more
getting
superheroes.
A female Hawkeye.
Yeah, more superheroes in the Marvel universe are going to be female in this next phase than male.
Yeah,
I think
absolutely. Yeah.
Which I'm all for.
I mean, I don't want to go too into detail with the Thor trailer. Obviously, there's plenty of people out there. New Rockstars did an awesome breakdown of all the things we're going to see.
As always, as they do.
The two things that I really want to touch on. I love the fact that we're getting Thor's original comic book costume as he's running through the beginning. You see the blue tights.
Yep.
You see the black shirt with the helmet. I absolutely love that they're leaning so heavy on these comic book accurate. We get the comic book accurate Loki. We got Vision and Wanda in WandaVision wearing their.
We know that Waititi is going to leave everything on the table. If this is the last time, other than a cameo, a surprise cameo further down the line, if this is the last time we see Chris Hemsworth's Thor, I feel like we're gonna feel satisfied with that.
Yeah.
We had
passing
Thor
the torch to Jane Foster.
Yeah, we had Thor Hulk fight in Ragnarok. We got a really good. If that was the end of his story, that would have been good enough.
Yeah.
But really, past the end game Thor needs some closure still.
Yeah.
They did some. He had probably the most, other than Captain America, the most on him. It was really Iron Man, him, and
the three main
guys.
Yeah.
They really focused on sort of finishing their stories. But I think that there is more to tell.
Yeah. So, of course, the one thing that left out of the trailer, which I think is a good thing, I don't want to see too much of it, Christian Bale's Gore the God Butcher. Obviously, this run's going to pull really heavy from that run of the Mighty Thor comics. Mm-hmm. It's going to pull from the Mighty Thor Jane Foster comics, where...
Yeah, Lady Thor.
Yeah, where... Well, she's the Mighty Thor.
The Mighty Thor.
They don't call her Lady Thor.
Yes.
They're leaning really heavy on the fact that she has the hammer.
The
she's
Mighty
Thor.
Yeah.
So obviously, you look up Gore the God Butcher. He's a character that felt slighted by the gods because they didn't save him and his family, so he decided that they all should die. Mm-hmm. He picks up a dark sword that is the origin of Venom and the symbiotes. So I don't know if we'll have any tie-in with that. That's the sword. It's the sword that beheaded Nowhere that we see in Guardians of the Galaxy. I don't know if they'll tell us that. I don't know if he'll actually even have the sword in the MCU. That's just his character. But so that kind of links us back to Moon Knight, because Gore the God Butcher is going through and killing gods. Obviously, in Thor the Dark World, we're going to see Zeus. We could see Hercules. People are speculating that we're going to see Henry Cavill, because he's been courted by Marvel for a while as Hercules, which would just be so cool.
Oh, yeah, he would be. Yeah, he's sizzle chest Hercules for sure. Yeah.
So, but we're going to see Gore the God Butcher go up against, Zeus and those immortals. We're going to see him fight the other characters. But we now have this larger pantheon of gods.
We got Egyptian gods.
Yeah. We have the gods from Olympus. We have the Egyptian gods. We have the Asgardian gods. So,
there's a good reason,
which shows that there's connection between all of these. Because,
the connection
because
could
Thor
be,
goes to Mount Olympus.
Right, he goes to, but
the Eternals
to bring it back
tie-in.
exactly bring it back to Moon Knight though. One of the questions that I kind of had from this last episode, those last two episodes, 3 and 4, is the reason. What's the reason that the Egyptian gods decided to leave some observers, but mostly go into hiding?
So,
is it Gore the God Butcher?
So it could be.
Is that our tie-in?
The thing that I think it was in the new Rockstars video I was watching this morning, or I was reading an article. I don't know. They sometimes get fuzzy. Said that it's the Maiar, they're called, the group of the main Egyptian gods, were actually tasked by the Celestials, the same way the Eternals are, to not interfere with human existence. Because
so is that maybe the Eternals is telling us that all the gods we know of, have some kind of celestial connection,
right?
Like the Asgardians they might not be hidden android robots created by the Celestials, but they're some kind of like.
Well, it's genetic modification.
The Celestials have come to them and said, well, that's the one thing Thor Dark World tells us is the Asgardian technology is up there and they're all genetically created. Yeah. Even Thor is not specifically Sif and Odin's son in the way that us humans make kids. Like he was created.
Yeah. So,
and maybe we'll get into that in Thor Love and Thunder, what he really is.
So, they've, again, Marvel with their interconnectivity, Eternals ties right in. It's all connected. It's all connected back here on the map.
Kang! It's all connected to Kang.
Well, okay, so you say that. I don't want to get off on another tangent. We're kind of going a little long.
That's what applesauce and bologna is. It's all about the tangent.
So Kang... If they tie Kang in the way that Kang actually ties in the comic books, at one point time traveled back and was a Pharaoh Ramatep. I actually thought that might have been his tomb that we got.
Maybe it is.
Well, they called it Alexander the Great's tomb.
Well,
but I thought it could have been.
Or what about that one wise man
Yeah.
who they got the map from?
Yeah.
Is that another version of Kang?
So again, everything's all tied together.
all about Kang.
There have been people that have been asking because obviously Moon Knight has come into contact with Apocalypse in the comic books, who in the movies is Oscar Isaac.
I know,
and people
right?
are like, I
How
want to
nuts-
see Oscar
how
Isaac
nuts would
against
that be? Oscar Isaac.
so, yeah,
Against
yeah.
Oscar Isaac, and Oscar Isaac versus Oscar Isaac.
Against Oscar Isaac. Obviously, hopefully they do a better version of Apocalypse because I hated the Apocalypse from X-Men. I thought.
I know, but we're not talking about hate. We're talking about
we're not going there. We're
not going there.
Yeah,
all right, man.
I mean,
so excited. We're only gonna get more crazy as the summer goes on because we're talking Doctor Strange. We're talking Thor: Love and Thunder.
So soon.
It's all flying at us a million miles
Miss
a second.
Marvel.
Miss Marvel, Secret Invasion. It's all around the corner.
Yeah.
So excited to be a fanboy right now. I'm wearing my Star Wars stuff because I'm pretty much in constant Star Wars mode waiting for Kenobi! But that's all the time we have for today. We'll have more to bologna and applesauce about next time.
Oh, man.
Please like and subscribe.
Share, subscribe.
Give us the comments. What do you like? What do you not like? Do you want us to focus in or just talk how we talk? Because that's pretty much what we're doing. This is just a recorded version of our bi-tri-weekly conversations about everything going on.
Something to look forward to. We're talking about. We both just got on this game on the Oculus called Demio. It's a VR. There's this PC version.
Tabletop
but it's a
role-playing
tabletop
game.
RPG game that's very D&D, very tabletop, very miniatures.
It's
so
amazing.
fun. We're probably going to start streaming some of that. We might throw
we are,
ourselves on Twitch or it'll just be on Facebook.
Because we need to rationalize the amount of time we're spending on it.
Follow along. So much more coming. Till next time, we'll see you later.
What would Thor do?
Yeah.